Welcome to the Dukes of Sports. I'm Randy Lively with,
Paul Perry again.
Still.
Yeah, still.
How you doing?
Doing fine. Little weather problem we're having for a
geez.
change. Hey, we can't complain. We've had
No,
good
we
weather.
had a pretty good summer, but
Now it's getting nippy at night. Like it is October.
yeah.
We just get spoiled around here. We don't know what kind of weather we're going to get one year after another.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, neither do the meteorologists know what
No,
we're getting.
they get paid a big buck.
That's right. Best job in the world.
So what do we got this week, Randy?
Oh, there's always the Patriots game, baseball playoffs.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Start with-
Celtics got their preseason started.
Yeah, that's
Hockey's canceled the first 2 weeks of the season.
I missed that.
Bunch
When
of
did that?
donkeys.
Really?
Yeah, the league.
When did that? Was it in the paper?
Well, within the last week.
Really, I missed that.
Yeah.
The preseason stuff I don't pay attention to. It's I know that's not preseason. I'm just saying a lot of this stuff before the season. I don't even read the articles and everything. They'd be praising somebody in any sport,
Yeah.
and then 2 days later they got cut.
Yeah.
So I don't put a lot of
Oh yeah.
faith.
The Celtics got some guy on their team. I mean, he must just be there to help with practice or something. I never heard of him. His last name is Christmas.
Christmas?
Kind of cute.
Yeah, they might keep them until the holidays are over.
I don't think he'll even make Halloween, probably.
Yeah.
So, where would you like to start?
Well, why don't we start
Pick
with baseball?
something.
Let's
All right.
start with the playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the notes this week on the playoffs. I mean, the statuses of right now, other than the wild card team that got knocked off, everybody else is still in it.
Yeah. Well, I know what Detroit's up 2-1 over
Detroit's
Oakland.
up last night. They're all playing today. Well, which is today.
Wednesday.
This is a pre-broadcast. Yeah, Detroit's up 2-1. They lost last night.
Yeah.
Close game, 2-0. And but what I've seen in baseball, and we'll start one at a time. You say Detroit's up 2-1. Yankees and the Orioles are tied 1-1.
Right.
And then in the National League East, you got Washington and the Cardinals. They're
tied,
1-1.
Right.
And Reds and the Giants. The Reds are up 2-1.
Yep.
And this is what you see this time of the year. Oh, you might get a game. I mean, you got 4 games here. That might be 12-10. But most of them are going to be what we've seen.
Yeah.
Pitching is 99% of baseball.
Well,
I've said it.
especially in the playoffs. I mean,
Good pitching will take care of good hitting anytime.
nobody's using their 5th starter.
No.
Some teams maybe not even using their 4th starter.
Right.
So you're getting the top 3. Hopefully the bullpen does their job, and it's usually what they say in a short series as opposed to a 162 game season. Good pitching will win out over good hitting.
Yeah, and see what they do. What a lot of times people don't seem to realize. We'll say your star hitter. Now, most teams don't have 8 star hitters.
Nope.
So, good pitching, what they do is they pitch around them.
Yeah.
Situation pitching. The guy comes up with 2 outs and there's nobody on, and Cabrera comes up, they pitch around him. They don't walk him, per se, but they pitch around him that they say if worse gets to worse, he gets a walk. But in his case, they got fielder after him.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's kind of like, you could take a chance, but then now he got on, and then hopefully you get fielder out. Now you got rid of 2 of the big bats.
Yep.
But definitely, I've always been a defensive type guy on all sports. I always believe, if I can stop you from scoring, I get a good chance to beat you, no matter what sport.
That's true.
know.
However, my feeling is you ain't going to win 0-0. You still got to be able to score.
No, you're not going to win 0-0, but if you're going to have a slugfest every week, a baseball game 12-10, in football 35-31, that doesn't win. Overall, all I used to say is get in any sport a minimum of, like, say in football, 10 points. Good defense, give me 10 points. Baseball, give me 3 runs. Basketball, I can't say because that's a sport that doesn't believe in defense.
Well, they
know,
claim they do.
But my personal
I
opinion,
think it's
that
lack
sport
of
doesn't.
ability.
Yeah, they don't know how to really. There's no shooters as
No.
the era that you and I grew up in, who
No,
knew how
it's
to shoot a
three-point shots
basketball.
or dunks.
Yeah,
You know,
they get a.
that's-
I mean, that started actually in our era when you got a guy like Wilt Chamberlain, who used to get 85% of his points where he reached over and just dunked in.
Well, yeah.
That's not a. But they counted it as a shooting percentage.
Well, yeah.
But then you had your Sam Jones, the Jones boys, Sam Jones for the Celtics were using. They were shooters. Bill Sharman was a shooter.
Sure.
But the era changed. I can understand that. But when they give you a shooting percentage, and it's mostly dunks or breakaways,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
give me like a net. Maybe 10% of their points are shooting. And 3-pointers are shooting. But I did, like I say, that sport. So you know what I'm saying on defense. Hockey's a defensive sport, period. It's like soccer. It's a defensive sport. If you get 3 or 4 goals in a game average, that's a lot of
Well,
goals,
yeah.
average.
Right.
So your
But
hockey,
you still got to be able to score.
still going to
Even
score,
if-
but you don't need, if you play good defense, you don't have to score that much.
No,
That's what
but
I'm
even
saying.
if you're giving up 2, you still got to score 3.
That's not a lot. That's what you say. In hockey, maybe 3. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Your defense, I can throw a no-hitter and I can lose. But if I throw a shutout, I can't lose. I might not win, but I
Right.
can't lose. So I'm a defensive guy, always have been. So in baseball, so far in the playoffs, I can't, and there again, we don't write everything down. I don't think there has been any high-scoring games on these playoffs.
Yeah, not the
No,
way
it's,
you're
it's,
talking
it-
about. No.
Right, it's pitching, and pitching should prevail. The only thing that happens this time of the year, the 6 cities that are involved, without ranting them off, because I already did it to myself the other day, to take my word, the 6 cities, is it 6 or 8? 8 right now,
8
right?
right now.
All cold cities. There's not the warmest city that I can think of, and yet it's cold to them, is San Francisco.
Yeah.
You name a city without
Yeah.
going over them, a warm one. There is no warm one, so
Well,
that
yeah.
means
Well, in the America, you got Oakland.
it's just as cold. That's probably the warmest.
Well, I mean, they're next door neighbors, so to speak.
but
Oakland and
that's
San
they're
Francisco.
cold though. They're cold over there. They're all wearing sweatshirts and
Yeah, and
jackets.
then the rest of the East is Detroit,
Yeah.
New York, Baltimore,
Right. Cincinnati's a
St.
cold.
Louis.
So I think what I'm getting at is today is October 10th.
Yep,
By the time the series is done, we're going to be saying November 3rd or 4th,
yep.
and games are going to be canceled not from rain, from snow.
It ain't gonna be snowing that early.
No.
Well,
Yeah.
not where they're playing. I mean,
Well, what do you mean? Where they? Cincinnati, Ohio.
yeah, higher elevation.
Ohio will get it off that water. They get their water down there from Canada. But I personally love baseball. I told you that's my sport.
Yeah,
And it's all money. And the reason the expanded leagues, expanded seasons, it's got to get the revenue. But it also makes the season, like I just said, so long. I'm comfortable sitting in my living room watching them freezing their butts off.
oh yeah.
But that's not the way to play baseball. They all got to do it. I know that. But that's not what I'm saying. That's not the way to play to become a champion. They shouldn't. Baseball used to be right about now. We'd be all over.
Yeah.
October 10th.
Yeah.
So they stretched a whole month, and it's like there again.
Well, it's money. It's TV
And
money.
it's money. They expanded teams for money and they expanded season for money,
Of course.
which I can understand, but I just don't like ending up in the late October, early November. I'm
think-
going to be comfortable in my house whether it's snowing or not.
Do you think Major League Baseball and the TV networks are hoping and praying it's not an Oakland-San Francisco series?
Because it's the West Coast on a time zone,
Mm-hmm.
meaning? Probably, because,
Plus,
they
aren't you bigger TV markets in the East?
I don't follow that, but if
I
you
would
say
think
so.
New York, Boston,
Yeah, but I mean,
Philly.
do you,
It's all East Coast cities.
Yeah, say New York gets in it. I mean, in our area here, these people around here, they don't, the fans that I told you I don't like,
Yeah.
they're probably not even watching the playoffs because the Red Sox aren't in there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous. Baseball's a good sport. I mean, it's like not watching the Super Bowl because the Patriots aren't in it.
Right.
I mean, that's ridiculous. But that's a handful of people as I've been thrown at, when I bring it up.
Yeah.
And it's more than a handful, but but that's what it is because there are some good fans.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, more often than not, it's not going to be our team that's playing for
Right. Look at the
whatever
odds.
championship.
Right.
But, so at that point, what I just hope for, sometimes I like to see a team that hasn't been there before
Yeah.
or
The
in a
underdogs.
long time.
The underdogs.
And I
And
just-
I know you're rooting for Oakland,
And I just
which
hope,
is fine.
And I just hope for a good series or a good game in
Right.
case of the Super Bowl.
Well, Oakland's a perfect example in Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, our predictions are still in, but it's very early.
Yeah. What are our predictions?
Orioles, I got Detroit, and we both took the Reds to get into the World Series.
Did I say, I thought I said Oakland.
Excuse me. I correct myself. You took Oakland. I knew it was an underdog.
Yeah. Now, what about,
They both began with O, too.
well, there you go. What about,
That was our prediction to get into the World Series.
yeah.
We
all
both
right.
took the Reds.
That's for the American League.
And we both took the Reds.
Reds, yeah. Oh, that's right. I would have gone with the Nationals if Strasburg was pitching.
That
So-
would have been a good way to do
So
it.
then
yeah.
I did said the Reds.
Yeah, you threw it maybe when I said Detroit. I went with the money. I didn't get that when you said that. You meant that's probably because they're supposing a favorite when you.
No, I mean,
When you said-
preseason they were.
Yeah,
Everybody.
But I went with I didn't look at it who was favored to be honest with you at all.
I went
Because on
with-
paper these favorites are like you and I.
The only reason I went with Oakland is pitching.
Yeah. Well,
in Baltimore-
Oakland and Baltimore are the Cinderella teams of the
Baltimore
year.
wouldn't, at this point, I mean, I expected Baltimore to fade in midseason. They're still there. So
Well-
if they made it, it wouldn't, at this point, it wouldn't shock me because
Well-
they've already shocked me.
Well, there again, because we'll forget the teams, but Oakland, the Orioles, let me finish, the Reds, Washington. Okay, then you got the Giants, the Yankees, the
Tigers.
Cardinals, and the Tigers. Okay, you got 4 teams probably when you took the pre-surveys in spring.
Yeah,
Those 4, we realized Oakland and the Orioles, not even close.
right.
But the Reds in the Washington, locally, some sports writers would have taken them. But overall, they weren't predicted to be where they are either. I doubt very much.
No.
Anyway, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So you got 4 teams in this playoff system, and never mind 1, 2 of them are Cinderellas, but 4. The other 4 doesn't surprise you, like the Tigers, the Yankees, the Giants, and the Cardinals. And the Cardinals are like Pearl Harbor. They're a sneak attack.
Yeah.
They horrible all year, or they look horrible. Their fans go nuts, just like Boston fans. The Cardinals fans are just as crazy, we'll say. Then they sneak in, and once you get into the tournament, anything can happen.
Oh, yeah, you're all even at that point.
This is a good playoffs. I think it's good, but I go with the cream of the crop. Even though I know you and I both predicting the Reds. Tigers, cream of the crop. Yankees. If I thought the Yankees were better than the Tigers, I would have said the Yankees.
I don't know. I'll tell you the way Oakland came back. I mean, look at it this way: let alone the Angels didn't make the playoffs after
Right.
spending all that money on Pujols
Yeah.
and some others. Texas,
Yep.
that ownership can't be real happy.
No, I can't, and I think they got some internal problems more than you and I know. You can pick up the paper like Josh Hamilton for one.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they, Nolan Ryan's probably one of the big contributors of making decisions, even though they probably have boards and all that.
Oh, no. I think it's pretty much
And
he's
I
running
bet
the team.
if they can find a way to ship out
Well,
Josh Hamilton,
He's a free agent.
yeah, but they're going to want to get something for him.
So if he's a free agent, they got no choice.
Well, they could trade him before he becomes a free agent.
Well,
It's
gonna-
somebody.
well, I mean,
I bet in other words, they're
it's gonna
shopping
have
him. They've been shopping him probably.
but why would you trade him?
I don't.
I mean,
this
why
is-
would you trade for him? You can wait till he becomes a free agent. You don't have to give up any players.
Well, I might want something for him.
No, that's Texas.
Yeah.
Might
Well,
want-
if I was Texas, I'd push to try to make a sweetheart deal with somebody.
Oh,
I mean,
well,
they've been working. I'm sure Texas has been working on it. It just
yeah, but
seems. It
nobody's
just
going to
seems like
trade
he's
for him
unhappy.
unless
We're not.
they're
We
sure.
don't.
Nobody's going to trade for him unless they're sure he's going to sign with them.
Yeah. And then he's going to be a money player, so
Oh, yeah.
that cuts you up.
Well, he puts up the numbers, you know.
But that's going to cut down the teams that can pay for him.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Red Sox in the middle of that mix.
Well, they'll have the money.
They got to start. They got to start somewhere.
Yep. Well,
They
got
got to start. I mean, they're cleaning house. I read today's paper that somebody wrote in, and it was a fan. Complained about what happened to the Red Sox season and anything, and he castrated Pedroia.
Yeah.
No, it was a small article. It was just one of these. The person, what he said was that when Pedroia made those statements early in the spring, he could have bailed himself out and kind of made it better, but he didn't. He just let it fester and just,
No.
And this guy said get rid of him in Ellsbury. And Ellsbury, his reason was the same that you bring up all the time: injuries.
Well,
Get rid of them both. He said, but that's an opinion. A guy could,
Ellsbury's had one super season.
yeah, and you and I said that, and I've said it.
And
No, but I know I need a player to have 3 good
if
in a
you
row.
you can't give him away.
Can't give him away, and I think he's
And
got some value.
Pedroia, I didn't like his mouth. The one thing I'll give him is I don't think he quit on the season.
No, he's not a quitter, but he's a young kid.
Well, he's
See,
been
he looks,
around.
yeah, but he's in his middle 20s, ain't he? I mean, 25,
Probably-
26.
Gee,
27.
no, I mean, he kicked
He's
around
still
in the
a kid.
minors for a while.
I know what I was doing between 20 and 30.
Yeah.
And I can imagine if I was in the professional ranks and didn't know how to control my.
Yeah, but
And he isn't a loudmouth. That isn't what we're
but
saying.
he's considered a veteran.
Oh, he's a veteran, but I'm saying age-wise, he's a kid.
Well, to you and I,
Yeah, he's a kid.
but not in
he's a-
baseball parlance.
No, he's a veteran player, but he's still a young kid. He's a young person. And he, everybody loves him. Everybody. Now he's got some people that don't like him.
Yep.
He had 100%. Now he's got some because he shouldn't have said anything. And they should trade him. Trade him to the Indians.
Yeah, Terry Francona.
He'll take him.
Yeah.
He'll take him.
Oh, I bet you he would.
Sure. Trade him to,
but again-
But I don't. Pedroia, I have never said to trade him except for just now. I've never said
But
trade
I mean,
Pedroia.
you can't trade your whole team.
No, but I'd trade. I'd get rid of. I'd get some. Try to get some value out of Ellsworth. I've got to the point. You've always asked me what would I do. I've got to the point now. The season's over.
Mm-hmm.
That if I have the opportunity to get something for him, I would trade him. Now that's my opinion on him. Pedroia, actually, I told you before, and I haven't forgotten. But the only guys in my head, right off my head, that I wouldn't trade for Red Sox, Pedroia, and I love Cody Ross. I just love Cody Ross. Who got the 10th player award for the Sox?
I don't know, but boy, he would have been a damn good candidate.
Well, that was my choice, and I should, you put in a name, and you might have won a car or something with the Red Sox. If you picked the right guy, and then they got to pick your name.
Yeah.
If you pick the right guy, then your name goes in a hat. But I never heard them announce who was the 10th player award, mainly because we weren't glued to the TV,
Nope.
because they weren't in the race, so you might have been watching some new show. And I'm sure if I go and look it up on the web after today.
Yeah. Sure.
But who else would, in my, because Ortiz couldn't get it, he wasn't there a full year. Pedroia didn't have a great year. There isn't anybody that was still on the team.
Yeah.
So, and fans on this part usually are pretty good when they come to the 6th player award in hockey and, in the 10th in the baseball. And they usually come up with the gutsy kids, usually. The guys that put out more, even pitching. But I can't think of any pitcher on the Sox. Lester finally straightened out near the end of the year. No,
Nah, really.
and Buchholz didn't. So they really didn't have a pitcher. So I, without even looking it up, it had to be Ross. But there again,
Should have been.
what I was
It
getting
wasn't.
at, the only guys, there again in front of me, Pedroia and Ross were the only two I would not trade.
Yeah.
Anybody else made me an offer for anybody on that team,
Yeah.
I'd work a deal.
Well, Ross, they better not drag their feet. His contract's up. They only signed him for 1 year.
And the
You know
thing
what
with
they-
Ross, he says they all say he liked Boston. I like Cleveland. I like LA. Wherever they are, they always say
Oh,
that
sure.
to the press. But one thing they don't like, if they're competitive ball players, they want to be on a competitive
Well,
team.
yeah.
And if the Red Sox, if the Red Sox organization throws the towel in and kind of says it's going to take us 2 or 3 years, which I predict it's going to take 2 more seasons. I figured the 3rd season. Would a guy like Ross hang around? That's what. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the money.
If it's the money, then he's going to be guaranteed. He's going to be there.
Well, hey, let's face it.
What's the longest contracts the Sox don't like to give? Do they don't they on the Lendley ones? Aren't they one of those
No,
teams?
but they've still done it.
Well, what I'm getting at, if they promised Ross and gave him money and said, look, we'll give you a 4-year contract because we should be back on track in the 3rd year. Yeah.
I don't know if they'd go that long even with him.
Well, there again, how long do you think they're going to take to rebuild a team?
But
Money
if
is good, but they're
no,
competitive.
but I mean, if they give him a fair offer, he should know as well
He's been around,
as
he's bounced.
anybody else that his swing is made for Fenway Park.
Yeah.
Uh,
He doesn't quit. He's another non-quitter.
So Fenway's a good fit for him
Yeah,
too,
well, we'll
personally.
see.
But no, but you look at that team, the team that finished the year.
You really want to look at that team that finished the year?
No, I mean Valentine said it.
Yeah.
He said this is one of the weakest teams I've ever seen, or something
Right.
words
And,
to that
and
effect.
some people resented it. I mean,
But-
he's only
but
telling
he was
the truth.
right. I mean, you look who
He's only
they
telling
had.
the truth.
You had Loney guy out there at first.
Huh?
Who the hell was playing third after Middlebrooks?
I don't.
Oh, they had what's his name? That young kid from Pawtucket that surprised the daylights out of everybody. Now he's a keeper.
Gomez?
No,
Oh, that was the first baseman, right?
no, the skinny kid. The infielder.
Yeah, I don't. You know me. I don't.
Yeah, I
Meaning you're
I'm
talking about a
drawing
team that I'm not-
drawing a blank. But
Plus, the inferior team that was out there, I wasn't even
But,
paying attention. Because there again, it's like preseason. They could be working out. A lot of those guys are probably getting
yeah,
their feet wet, and then the Sox say,
but that kid might be worth, perhaps not as an everyday player, but he might be a great utility infielder for you.
well, I
'Cause
mean,
he can play multiple positions. The outfield, I mean,
they've
what do you got? You got right now. You got Ellsbury. You got Ross. You got Kalish, who's had a history of injuries, and you got Ryan Sweeney, who broke his hand punching a dugout wall, missed the season, but the guy hasn't hit a home run in like 2 years.
yeah.
Now you're not usually looking for a punch and Judy hitter out of your outfielders.
Yeah. No, that's
So-
baseball theory, but
So I mean, there's a lot of holes to fill on that team.
yeah. Well, they had. Geez, when did they get a guy like Scaruto?
Scudero, he had a very good year.
With the Giants.
Well,
And I hate, and I say it.
Well, they
every
picked-
time I watch it, that son of a gun.
they picked him
He
up,
got a big hit against my Dodgers. He
Yeah.
killed the Dodgers near the end of the year.
but they got him from Colorado. The Red Sox
Right.
traded him to Colorado just after extending his contract. And the guy ended up last year. He hit 300. He had some pop. This year he was hurt early in the season, but he came on. He still hit around 300
Yeah,
again.
he's a regular second baseman for the rest of the year.
Home runs were down over last year because he played less games.
San
But-
Francisco's
but
a
you're
rough.
right. Near the end of the year,
yeah.
I mean, this guy
He
was
killed
getting
him.
2 hits, 3 hits, 2
Oh,
hits,
yeah.
3 hits.
And I laugh because they weren't baseball hits. Meaning what I'm getting at. He was all over the field.
Yeah.
I can still visualize him hitting 2 shots to right field,
Good.
like 5 feet fair, killing my Dodgers.
Using the whole field.
Oh.
That's a smart hitter.
Well, Cabrera last night got up in the 9th inning and he lined a shot to right center, right through second and first base.
Yeah.
To get there, and they were down 2-0, so now Fielder was up. But yeah, no, the playoffs. People, they should be watching them. I don't know if they are. I know I
Yeah,
am.
you should. I mean,
All
I
4
watched
games are on today.
here. Yeah. That's gonna be a
That'll
challenge.
be at 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't sleep anymore early.
I
don't.
was gonna say.
No, I don't. I'll be up till I average probably 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Well, I often do. More often than not. At that point, I might be reading. Although every so once in a while, I'll jump on the computer and shoot something out on
Yeah,
Facebook
well,
or
you've
whatever.
seen what I've done on the computer late at night.
Yep. So, oh God,
we
we're
got?
almost halfway through the show, but
Okay.
hey, I'm still feeling pretty good about our National League pick, the Reds.
Yeah. And they put themselves right in the hole. Their number 1 starter got hurt in the first inning,
No,
the first game.
I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah. Names missed me, but their
Yeah.
number 1 starter lasted a third of an inning in the first game.
Ooh.
That's their starter, and I just saw today's paper. They're trying, like anything, they tell you he's healthy, but they're not sure when he's going to pitch. And what happened was
The old day-to-day.
they put a what saved them was their guy that replaced him during that game. He went the whole game.
Wow. That's amazing.
So, but they lost the start. It's this number 1 guy.
Well, that may not bode well for the next series.
That's right. But we got to stick with our choice. You can't change.
Yeah, I know.
The only time you can change them is because we haven't made a World Series prediction.
Right.
We got to wait to see who gets in it.
All right. Hey,
Go ahead.
taking a break.
Yeah. Hey.
But I don't want you taking any breaks because we're going to be back in less than 2 minutes. It's a chance for you to see our great underwriters. And so please pay attention to them, and we'll be back, like I said, in less than 2 minutes. Take care. Don't go away. 125 years and still teaching the world to sing, Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod is proud to support the Dukes of Sports. Some of the products offered by Coca-Cola that you can enjoy are Dasani Water, Powerade, Minute Maid Juices, Vitamin Water, Fuse, V8, and Honest Tea.
With 15 offices from the Canal to Provincetown, our experienced and professional agents get the job done, whether you are buying or selling. We also offer summer vacation rentals and can assist in mortgage financing, serving the most buyers and sellers across the entire Cape. Check us out at kinlandgrover.com.
Heritage Floor Covering supports the Dukes of Sports and has a spacious and extensive showroom to browse through. Cheryl and Russell are fully insured and offer free estimates. We sell the best and you pay less. 508-833-7600.
The Sagamore Inn is pleased to support the Dukes of Sports. Feel free to visit our website, SagamoreInnCapeCod.com, for our full menu, catering, and directions. Ask us how you can get a free meal on your next birthday. 508-888-9707.
Dr. Leslie Harmon of Sandwich Animal Hospital, 508-888-2774, gladly supports the Dukes of Sports. We offer lifetime care for dogs, cats, birds, reptiles, rabbits, and more with an on-site diagnostic laboratory, complete pharmacy, medical diets, microchipping, professional grooming, and flea bath appointments. 508-888-8225.
Sandwich Car Wash, Route 130, also does detailing. Express detail in half an hour or less while you wait, or the works by appointment at 508-833-1522, where you can arrange to use Bubbles, our courtesy car. Gift cards available as well. Make a unique gift.
And we're back. See? Didn't take long. Hope you enjoyed the underwriter spots. Hey, heads up, Sagamore Inn is going to be closing for the season fairly soon, so be on the safe side. Get yourself over there before the end of end of October. Got some great all-American meals there, and they got seafood, and they got Italian, anything you want, they got it. So don't forget to wash your car at Sandwich Car Wash too, by the way. And when you go, tell them you saw it on the Dukes of Sports. So, hey, you got a high school update for us this
we
week?
got a little high school segment here that we're trying to incorporate, which I'd like to hear some reaction of it, but we haven't had anything. But so our 3 local schools, Bourne Canalman, Bourne UCT Rams, and Sandwich Blue Knights, they got this past weekend. Canalman got their second loss.
Oh.
And it's in the conference. They're right now. Their record is 3-2 overall, and they got beat pretty good by Apponequet, 31-8. From what the write-ups were, that I guess their line was really was beaten up. They got beaten up bad. So I mean, you lose 31-8. You couldn't do too many things right. This coming Friday, a couple days from now, they'll be playing Dayton Rehoboth, who is 2-0 in the conference, and the Canalman 3-1 in the conference. Yeah, so they got a good conference record right now. But usually, high school, you lose one game, that hurts in the conference.
Well, they aren't playing that many.
No, but they've already got a 3-1 record, where like Dayton Rehoboth's only 2-0. So that means Bourne's played 4 in the conference already. Yeah. But this will be the 3rd for Dayton. Dayton will be usually pretty strong kids all the time. So that's with the Canalman. And the Sandwich Blue Knights went to had a game at a neutral field up in Marshfield. They're building a brand new school, so they had to play at Duxbury, and they got away with a 24-22 victory. Ooh. Close game against Marshfield. Sandwich is 4-1. Okay. They lost to, I want to say, Barnstable, somebody that's real dominating. So they won 24-22 on Pat Kane. Had a field goal late in the game, and it wasn't a last-second game, but enough to get the victory, 24-22, as I say.
Oh, that's pretty good. A lot of times in high schools, at least from what I recollect, you don't have much field goal kicking.
No, there's not a lot in the whole state. It just seems they don't. There are some, but no, overall it's very small.
That's good.
They'll be playing.
Because that's the difference between a W and an L.
Yeah. And this weekend, Sandwich is at home against Plymouth South, and that's a conference game in their division. And on that Sandwich game, also offensively, give a little kudos for Jake Kangas, Jamie Mazzelli, Tim Sullivan, Jake Ganley, and Zach Wagner. Also offensively, did a good job on that 24-22 victory. So that's your Sandwich Blue Knights. Now, we go to my baby boomer of football, the Bourne UCT Rams.
3rd year, right?
Third year. It's only the 2nd year of varsity football.
Okay, yeah.
Usually what they do is they play 3 years of JV football. Then the 4th year, that theory they started when the kids are freshmen.
Yeah.
That theory was 3 years. Those kids who were freshmen would be seniors on their first varsity. But they stepped it up one time, 1 year. So they went to up in Franklin this past weekend, and they come away with a victory. For some reason, I don't have the score down, but they won this game pretty handily because they've had a lot of close games. So they're 4-0, but they're starting their top running back, John Dumont, got hurt against Diamond the week before, so that was a big crunch in it. But Dylan Derby, another running back, picked up the slack, got 169 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he just had a good game, and he picked up the slack for Dumont. And this weekend they're going to South Shore, away game on a Saturday. Matter of fact, I might try to go up and watch that game. And That's going to be their first conference game. They're 4-0. In other words, they've played all
Out of conference.
out of conference. Now this will be their first conference game.
Good test.
Yeah, and also the running back of Ryan Kiley, he offset with Derby. So you got this Kiley, Derby, and Dumont. Those are three running backs. They've been favoring definitely until last week Dumont all the time, because I've been to enough of their games. But they can start shaking it up and spreading it around, and hey, we'll see what happens. So they're doing fine, and like I say, they're away this weekend, and so that's the high school report. And the
Great.
only thing I say on the high school reports, get out there and support your high school sports. Yes, I'm talking about football, but there's a lot of high school sports in the fall here.
Yeah, well, basketball will be coming up.
That's a winter sport, but right now
Hockey.
you've got your field hockeys. But I mean,
Soccer.
if somebody gets a hold of us or somehow and gives us information about it, with the reports I'm giving, are football reports. But I'm not saying I won't say anything about a field hockey game. But I'm not in the time and business to go out and get a lot of this stuff. So
If you want to reach us and you're on Facebook, that's the easy way. It's facebook.com/Dukes of Sports. And you can always leave information, make comments, ask questions, whatever. Or call the studio. If you want to leave
they
a-
got our numbers.
I mean, we're not here, but somebody will be. You can always leave a message. And we'll be glad to pass it on.
Yeah. So support your high school sports.
Right.
So we go to Patriots.
Yeah. They had a good win over Denver.
Yeah.
Made it a little interesting late, but
Yeah.
I mean, at one point they were up 31-7. They ended up winning 31-21. Brady had not a spectacular game.
No,
He threw
yeah,
for
yeah.
200 and something yards. I mean, Manning's numbers were much, much better than Brady's. But for the second week in a row, those Sons of a Guns rushed as a team for about 250 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, wow, where did this come from? Which theoretically should make Brady's job easier. Hasn't really worked out that way yet.
Yeah.
But and maybe Adrian Hernandez will be back this week.
He's 1 week at a time.
Last week he at least practiced,
Right.
but they still held him out. Gronkowski had, an okay week.
Well, they spread this. Unless the defense is giving us, like we've discussed before, certain things that you can do all the time, there shouldn't be anybody on the team passing wise. He spreads it out so many players.
Well, Welker had another good
Yeah.
game. He had a
Who?
huge first.
Welker. Is he still on the team?
Yeah, he gets in every once in a
Gee,
while.
I thought he was on his way downhill.
Well, he had a huge first half. Not so
Only
much.
joking, guys.
Not so much in a second.
I mean, well, I can joke, but he can't, evidently.
No. Well, he's only making 9-point-something million this year. You
Yeah.
got to remember he's playing cheap. So, again, the defense, I thought a little more
Aggressiveness. They're getting better every
life,
week.
a little more life out of the pass rush.
Right.
But I got to see more yet.
But it's there again, 4 games. They're progressing.
Uh,
Their defense is progressing on the
I
defensive line, we'll call it.
Still not totally sold on their secondary.
I was very upset with McCourty,
Yeah,
myself personally.
but
But there again, the defensive line, we all know, if they get better, that'll help
well, sure.
your
Oh, a good
defensive
pass
back.
rush helps the cornerbacks and
Yeah,
the
and you
safeties.
can't. That's a tough position to play when you've
But
got
did
no
you
pressure.
watch the whole game?
Yeah, yeah,
Yep. So you saw that 3rd and 17 where they handed off to Woodhead.
yeah.
Now I don't really think they were planning on a 17-yard run. I think they were.
They were just trying to get further down so they could punt.
Yeah, and he gets the first time. It was a great blocking,
Yeah.
but also good effort on his part. And lo
Yeah,
and
gutsy
behold,
kid.
they got a first down.
Yeah,
Real key play in that game.
Well, there again, what, 31-21 final score?
Yep.
Well, you know the key play of the whole game after Ridley fumbled was that pass that they dropped on 4th down and 6,
That was
Denver.
McGahee.
Did he? No, this is not a joke. Was he with the Patriots?
No, he's with Buffalo, and then I think
He wasn't with the Patriots?
Nope.
Who's the running back that we had that they traded to out west, like Denver? I thought it was Denver. See, that's why I'm saying.
Last year?
No, about 3 years ago.
Oh.
Running back. He fumbled all the time. All right, I thought it was McGahee,
No.
you know. But I don't know if that was him to drop that pass, that
Yeah.
little easy one. And if they got that one,
Yeah.
I would have been sweating.
Well, he's also the one that fumbled after Ridley fumbled. They were like inside the 10-yard
Okay.
line, and he fumbled, and then they went to the sideline,
Yeah.
and Ridley was
Yeah, okay. No, it was, oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
waves of
Well,
relief.
Ridley not only felt that way, I'm sure, because of the reason he felt that way, is, it put his team in jeopardy. He knew it was probably going to happen this week at practice.
Oh, well, it might have happened anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Whether they won the game after they did win, but he still knew what was going to happen because Belichick is a cardinal sin is the holding the ball.
Well, that's
That's a cardinal sin with
well,
him.
that was his flaw last year.
Yeah,
He fumbled 2 or 3 times.
he's been running
in
well, but that
limited
fumble
play.
at that, like I said, we both say, then they dropped that pass. That was the key play of the
Oh, yeah.
game. Besides that fumble that they
Well,
cut and recovered
the
it.
drop pass had nothing to do with the Patriots' defense.
No.
And that was
No, that's right, because it was a first down.
Well, that
It
was like a 4th and 1 play.
He just wasn't. He just was. It was waiting for. It looked like the old. I heard footsteps coming.
I don't know what it was.
But he dropped it, and that would have been an interesting finish game then,
Well, yeah, I mean,
He
it
got
would
that.
have been a first. It was a
because
gimme.
that fumble came after that.
It was a gimme first down.
Right. I think if the
And
sequence, that pass was dropped first. Patriots got the ball. Ridley fumbled.
I think the
Then we got the
problem
fumble.
was that the pass hit him in the hands.
I used to go to Patriot games. I told you in the old days.
Yeah.
Remember Russ Francis
Oh,
for the
yeah.
Patriots? Great tight end.
Oh yeah. little bit.
This
of
is
a,
the truth.
Little bit of a free spirit.
He always used to drop one ball a game at least.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, fans. We used to go to the games. This is back in the late '60s and early '70s. The fans used to chant, drop the ball," in the beginning of the game, so we'd get it either way. That's the truth.
He was a darn good player.
Yeah, but
For
he
a so-
always
for a
he
so-so
always he
team.
would always drop an easy one.
Yeah.
Hit him in the hand. Fans would yell there. Oh, drop the ball. Hit him in the hands.
Yeah.
That's the old theory of how'd you drop the ball? It hit you in the hands.
Yes. Do you ever notice some of these commentators
Oh.
where they'll give credit to a defensive back for a great, coverage and breaking up a pass or something?
Yeah.
Then you see it on the replay, and yeah, I mean they were there, but it was dumb luck. The pass happened to hit him in the helmet.
Yeah, hit him in the helmet.
You know, or something.
Yeah, but he stuck his arm up, and they don't. But I was very upset with Cordy
Yeah.
that game. I don't care what. You can't get beat as many times as he is on a crucial play.
Yeah.
And when
Happened to
Denver
him
was
last
coming
year,
back,
too.
I know that's your job. Don't get me wrong. But if you can't do your job,
Yeah.
I'm going to find somebody else. And unless he's not in the doghouse with Belichick, he can't.
Well, these damn
Can't do too many of those anymore.
these damn defensive backs, and I'm not talking about the Patriots, just the Patriots. A lot of them, they never look for the ball. Now, granted, you could say, okay, they're running, they're trying to keep up with the receiver. Well, where's your head? Is it down? If you see
Well-
the receiver turning around, maybe that's a clue.
But we know that, and they must know that. And the thing that I agree with you, Julie, is they know it's a penalty when you don't turn around.
Yeah.
If you're going to get beat, at least turn around.
Yeah.
It's because you know it's a penalty if you don't.
How many
That's the
times
part I
have-
don't understand.
How many times have you seen a completed pass, and I'm talking down the field,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
one of these short things, and the defender's in pretty good position, but the receiver goes up and gets it because the defender isn't even looking.
Right,
And he
well,
doesn't know. Well,
Well, that's on a play that you're talking about. When I was in, you're
but
right.
like I said, if you're guarding the guy, where are your eyes at that point? If you see the guy turn and start to go like this, isn't that some
Well,
kind of
the
a
only thing-
clue
only thing
that
I-
maybe the ball's
Right,
coming?
and we're not professional coaches.
Maybe we
profe-
should be.
No, but these coaches, all these years that they've had from high schools and colleges, and now the pro, they know what they're supposed to, how to teach these guys if they don't know, okay?
Yeah.
So I don't understand why a lot of guys do what you just said. They don't know the guy doing this and that. The play that you're talking about, the guy jumps up, he's stopped. The plays that I'm complaining about is when they're getting beat and they're going down the field and the guys, and they're not, and they're just going like this at the guy. You got to turn around. It's a penalty when you're doing this.
Yeah.
At least turn your head and do this.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm talking about. That, like McCourt, he got beat the other day like that. Some plays,
Oh, yeah, they never look back.
no.
You know, that-
and that's two different situations of not looking back. Yours is all of a sudden they threw a pass, say 20 yards down, and they both were stopped. The receiver stopped and he's going up.
He doesn't even have to stop. He could still be running. But,
Is it the theory you got to keep your eye on the man instead of the ball? I don't,
well, no, that exactly. But if the man is now doing this, maybe there's a reason why he's doing this.
Yeah.
Because there might be a friggin' ball
Well-
coming. Maybe take a peek.
How many times you see that same play you're talking about and it was thrown short?
They throw him short a
And the
lot.
guy who's going like this sees it's going to be shot, and he stops and goes in front of the guy who isn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Hey, I think that's actually probably one of the toughest positions to play in pro
I'm
football.
not saying it's easy. But
No, I think it's the toughest
but-
one to really master
But see,
because of the
that's what-
speeds. You can't bump. I mean, in the old days, you
Well, you can bump like for 5 years.
5 yards, but you can't bump after 5 yards. I mean, the old
But
days
if
they
you
mauled
bump-
you.
If you bump them good enough in those 5 yards.
Yeah, but we
you
had that
shouldn't have
topic
to.
that night with Eaton was here, Andrew. That those guys know you keep bumping me, I'll get by you once. That's all you got to do is get burnt once.
Well, maybe.
And
but-
if I know what I'm gonna do. You don't. You can bump me, but if I give you a good fake in that 5 yard one, I just burnt you. And I think it's like I'm thinking of, and I'm sure it wasn't a bump, but we remember the Gronkowski touchdown 2 weeks ago when he was right down the middle of the field.
Yeah.
That's what you call a misassignment, or he got burnt. The kid was like, "Oh my God, I'm wide open," and Brady, right down the field.
Right. But, you've got that 5 yards.
Yeah.
I mean,
You put a lot of emphasis that you're going to hold them up in that 5 yards, is what you're saying.
You hold 'em up.
You can distract them.
you hold them up at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
Don't worry about the 5 yard part of it.
yeah,
When he lines up, you're right in his face.
yeah. But they'll slap on the side of the head and
Well,
I'll go right
that's-
by you.
Well,
I'm just saying, these guys aren't that stuff. If it was being done to me all the time, one time, like lighting a cigarette in the war days, you know why lighting a cigarette in the war days was unlucky?
well, you give away your position for one.
By the time the third light, the guy zeroed in on you.
Yeah,
That's why it was unlucky. Strike a match 3 times.
yeah.
So if you're blocking me after the second time, I'm gonna do something to get open.
Well,
That's my opinion.
maybe, but,
I believe in bump, but not constantly because these guys are saying, "Hey, coach," and they're seeing it too. But I think, like we said, safeties and defensive backs are I think the toughest jobs in pro football.
yeah, I mean,
These
when
receivers are so,
yeah, see,
athletic.
that's the position I played when I was a kid.
what, defense?
Yeah, well, sometimes I play a running back.
Yeah.
I couldn't throw to save my life.
Yeah. Defensive back, safety, you mean?
Hands are too small. Yeah, or cornerback.
Yeah,
But
that was speed there.
but you know, see, I got as much satisfaction out of intercepting a pass
Yeah, defense,
as I would scoring a touchdown.
definitely.
And I was small
Yeah,
compared with
You
most
do
of the
love me.
guys. So I would try to make my mark by hitting hard. You know,
well, yeah, and that's the old field in
And-
high school.
and back then too, the quarterbacks weren't. Well, probably even in high school now, they're not that sophisticated.
Not all systems are pro-orientated on passing.
but you could more easily watch the quarterback.
You should go watch some of these high
And
school
'cause
games.
no, but a lot of the, at least when I was playing, the quarterbacks weren't that proficient at looking, off the ball and then coming back to the receiver. A lot of times they were zeroed right in.
Right.
Or sometimes.
Yeah, you're not talking college and
No.
sophisticated.
And sometimes I would try to bait them.
Oh, definitely.
I would try to make it look like
They had an
the
opening.
guy had, and then you break on the ball.
Yeah, and you can do that in certain calibers of football.
Yeah.
But you should go to some of these high school games and you'd get upset on the pass coverage. I'm just telling you right now, warn you. I know you live a big distance away from one of the high schools. So I mean I can give you a map if you'd like.
All right.
You know how to get to the game. It's one Friday night.
Okay.
So $5.
I'm not going to be around.
Yeah. Well, the one a week from Friday and a week from Friday.
I might be around
Yeah.
this Friday.
So
No.
what are we running out of time?
We got 4 minutes left.
Okay.
So, but I think Houston and Atlanta, maybe no. Did Atlanta lose?
No, they
No, they
came
won.
back.
Houston and Atlanta, I think, are the only two undefeated teams, and I think Cleveland is the only team without a win yet. Green Bay lost again. Go figure.
Yeah, and New Orleans came back and won
Yep.
on that. There was one of the I don't know, lose track of Monday night football
Yeah.
because they got Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night.
that's their first
I think it was
win of the
and they
year.
had to come back.
First win.
Forget who they were playing because I was
San
watching.
Diego, I think.
Yeah, they blew it, San Diego.
Yeah.
I want to bring up football. Matt Castle.
Yeah,
He's having a tough time in Kansas City.
a little bit.
And this is general, this isn't picking on any fans, except for actually the fans that did it. Kansas City Chief fans. And I've seen it done before, and even in New England, I've seen it.
Booed him when he got hurt.
They booed him when he got hurt. That is the most
Classless.
whatever word you can think of, the lowest form of fan that they can ever do.
Especially in your home field.
It's your home field, and they booed him. I mean, there was the other one is when they cheer for another quarterback to come in when nobody's hurt.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's kind of like on the border too. But they booed him, and I didn't catch who it was, but there was one, and he looked like a lineman. He was rough. He said everything you could think of without swearing about the fans in Kansas City. It was on Sports Channel. And we're not going to get to sport. Anybody's going to see this in Kansas City. But anybody in New England
No,
ever
unless
pulls
they
that.
pick it up on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, anybody on YouTube out in the Kansas City area, you got the most classless fans. There again, it's the old story of it ain't all of you.
No.
But the ones that did it, if you were sitting in the stands, you should have knocked them in the head. The fans should have knocked them. That's classless.
That's-
Castle getting hurt and Key. They didn't carry him off, but
Well,
he
I
had to
don't
leave.
care if it's your team or not. You don't boo
If
somebody
somebody's injured.
who's
We-
getting carted off the field.
We do high school quickly. We do high school football. When someone gets hurt in any sport, we probably I might have the camera on them. Then we just take a break.
Yeah.
I mean that's just protocol. Well,
Yeah.
the kid gets recovered, and then we might mention it after, only because hopefully the kid gets up and walks
Hmm.
away. But yeah, okay. I just want to get
Well,
that.
we don't
off.
have much time. Little over a minute. But I was saying, Notre Dame is one of these college teams that has, they're an independent. They have following all over the country.
Yeah.
And they negotiated a few years ago their very own TV contract.
Right with NBC. I
And
think.
then they were pretty kind of lousy.
At that time, though, they were doing well, but that's
This year, it looks like they're back. I mean, they're
Yeah.
a strong 5-0 right now.
time flies. It's close to 10 years, I bet you.
And I think Alabama's still, pretty much kicking
Yeah.
butt. But
The basket weaving school.
it's kind of
Joe
good to
Namath.
see Notre Dame,
back in the
back in the
limelight.
mix, so to speak. You talk about America's team; they're probably as close as you can get, even
Yeah.
though they're on the college level.
Irish.
Like I said, Alabama, I believe, is still undefeated. Another team, Steve Spurrier's team, South Carolina is very highly ranked, but they're playing in a tough division. They got a lot of tough games coming up yet. But that's about it. We got about 2 seconds. So I am going to say thanks for watching. Keep watching. Tell your friends. Check us out on Facebook. Give us a like. And please, again, pay attention to our underwriters. If you can, support them. If you're there, let them know you saw it on the Dukes of Sports. And hope everyone has a great week. We'll be back same time, same place. Take care, everybody.
And like I say, be a fan.
Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod is proud to support Community TV. Some of the refreshing and satisfying products offered by Coca-Cola are Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, Sprite, Fanta, Dr. Pepper, and Moxie. 125 years and still teaching the world to sing.
Kinlan Grover Real Estate sells and lists more property than any other real estate company on Cape Cod and is pleased to support community television and the Dukes of Sports.
Heritage Floor Covering supports community television and is located in Heritage Park off Route 130 Sandwich. When you look down, we look good. Carpet, vinyl, tile, and laminates. Sales, service, and installation with 40 years experience.
The Sagamore Inn, 1131 Route 6A in Sagamore, is happy to support community television. We are open for lunch and dinner every day and specialize in Italian-American cuisine, fresh native seafood, and specials.
Sandwich Animal Hospital, 492 Route 6A in East Sandwich, is pleased to support community television. We are accredited by the American Animal Hospital Association and offer surgery, dentistry, general, and preventative care. Appointments are available Monday through Saturday, 508-888-2774. Feel free to visit our website.
Sandwich Car Wash is easy to find on Route 130 Sandwich near Coca-Cola, 1.5 miles off Route 6, Exit 2. Save even more with our 1 or 3 month passes for unlimited state-of-the-art washes. We invite you to visit our website, sandwichcarwash.com, open daily.